JosephDiego here from JosephDiego.com and Growing with Joseph Diego. How's everybody doing today? What the hell am I doing in my basement? Well, guys, here it is. Here it is. We're going to talk about change today. We're going to talk about changing things because you know what? It seems like for some people, nothing ever seems to change. For some people, things never change, and they wonder why. They sit there and they say, oh man, my life is boring. I can't do much. I can't get myself motivated. I just my future doesn't look too happy. This is going to be the way life is going to be for the rest of my life. Well, guys, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, and change isn't that hard. You see, I can tell you right now, guys, anybody can change. Anybody can become the person that they want to become. And I say this because I've done it. I've done it, guys. There are so many things that I'm going to talk to you about. And there might be some things that I can honestly say that, I really don't know, and I'm going to keep shooting at it. But one of the things I really love to talk about are the things that I've succeeded in. Now, a lot of you may not know me, but I was kind of fucked up. Truth was, I was like really, really messed up. I hope I can say that, right? I hope I can say that. I'm just being honest, right? I was really, really a messed up individual. I was violent. I was angry, turbulent. I was a word I learned today. You see, today I'm not even in my work clothes, even though I did work today, but this was part of my change. This is part of my change. I just got back from Toastmasters, and we have a word of the day, and the word of the day was turbulent. Turbulent meaning aggressive. All right, very aggressive. You know who's turbulent? My man. What's his name? Vaynerchuk, Gary V. He's turbulent, boy. Grant Cardone, that guy don't mess around. Those are turbulent people. And I'm not mean passionate. I just mean aggressive, very aggressive. And that's the way they are. So, but what I'm saying is that we're not talking about turbulent, but maybe we have to be turbulent towards what we need to do, towards what we have to do to achieve or become that person that we want to become, or to achieve that extraordinary life instead of being ordinary. See, here's the thing. Believe it or not, even the coolest people in the world, some of the coolest people you may think, oh, that guy's all right, they're pretty ordinary. See, we're talking extraordinary. We're talking totally, totally different than most. And I'm not talking about driving around with a Lamborghini or, having that big boat or that big house, even though that stuff is nice. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that I don't want it. But the truth is, right now, with what Joseph Diego has, I'm happy as a pig in shit. I'll tell you that right now, and I've got to say it. I wake up every and I wanted to make a video on that, and I probably will in the future. But every day I wake up with a lot of gratitude because, you see, you'll hear me talk a lot about honesty and the truth. And the truth is, I have everything that I need. I may not have everything that I want, but I have everything that I need. And that attitude of gratitude and fulfillment, all right, because I feel I am completely fulfilled, comes from putting in the effort and putting in the work to make it happen, and from changing my thinking and changing that person that I was. See, at one time in my life, and I was thinking about this because my next speech, I decided my speech is going to be about my circle of influence. And my circle of influence wasn't very good when I grew up. I was born into a circle of shit when I was born. I'm sorry to say that, but I was born into a circle of shit. I was my fathers and my God bless my mother, who's the best mother in the world, and did the best that she could with what she had, but her circle of influence wasn't too good either. And her decisions that she made for her life were based upon her circle of influence. And my father, he was a drug addict. My father was a drug addict, and I was raised, I remember when I got sober, there's one of the steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, and in that it says restore me to sanity. And I've always felt that I never had sanity. And you'll hear a lot of people say that I became a product of my environment. And my environment is that circle of influence. And some people are motivated by that. Some people are, held back behind that. And then I don't know where I went in between that. I don't think it held me back because I don't live on welfare like my father did, and I didn't live, wasn't raised like that because my mother always worked. At least my mother was even though she always had husbands, because my mother got married a few times, even though I had kind of stepfathers, she was still always a single parent because my fathers were useless. They were in jail most of the time or out in the streets doing their thing. And they weren't much as far as fathers. My mother was a mother. And she took care of me the best that she could with what she had. But also what happened was what she thought was okay wasn't okay. And my friends and the people that I hung out with were that's just another little kid. But they got their influences from their parents. And perfect example is Curly, one of my buddies. Him and I, we were walking around with a 357 doing some pretty awesome things, that weren't nice when we were kids. And what kind of kids are growing up like that? I mean, all right, yeah, there are certain kids that are grown, showing guns, but this was a little bit of a different situation, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. All right, it was not a nice thing. And I developed some bad habits. I became an angry, violent person because I was raised in a very angry, violent, prejudiced neighborhood. And I have to say prejudice because, and it's funny because I hear people talk about reverse prejudice. Prejudice is everywhere. And again, that is what you get from your circle of influence. And my circle of influence were all African Americans and Latinos. And we had our own agenda, I guess. And being poor, we looked at things in a really crazy way. And it did not serve me in a proper way. Maybe it did now. I really don't know. I'm sure everything leads to something. But the thing is that I became a certain type of person. And I also became a drug addict and an alcoholic. And like I said, I was in trouble with the law many, many times. And something needed to change. Something needed to change. And it's funny because I could look at things and I found out what that was. See, I met the enemy, and the enemy wasn't the white man like we were taught to be, and it wasn't the judges, and it wasn't the cops, and it wasn't, whoever we thought did wrong. The enemy was right there in the mirror. It was me. And the person that I had to change was that person in the mirror. You see? And how did I change that person? By changing my thinking. Changing the way I looked at everything. But now we're talking about having that same old life. Having that same old, waking up every day to the same old shit. Same shit, different day, right? This is what we're talking about, guys, right? Well, if that's your case, then you got to start making some change. You see, and I want to share this with you. And this is why I'm here next to my new boiler, because I changed this freaking thing. I did this whole boiler myself. This is something that I've never done before, but I did it myself. And I put in some action. I started taking action, and I ripped out the old one, and I put in a new one. And the reason I'm down here is because I got to change this pipe right here. I'm taking this pipe out, but this ain't a boiler teaching class. But the thing is, that also got me motivated, and so did Toastmasters. You see, the reason I'm kind of dressed up today, I usually dress up a lot nicer. I wouldn't be down, if I was dressed in my regular clothes, I wouldn't be down here. But it was raining out, and I had to go vote. It was a crazy day, right? And then I came home and I had to take care of this. I said, you know what, let me make my video down there. But I started doing things differently. You see, here's the thing about change. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to continue getting what you're getting. Nothing changes if nothing changes. That's the bottom line. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you're doing the same old shit, you are choosing to do the same old shit. See, I was doing the same old shit. All right? Even right now, I'm catching myself watching the TV again. So I made a promise to myself that when I got to a certain end of a series that I wanted to watch, I'm gonna stop watching TV. I'll watch TV with my grandson. I'll watch TV with my wife. She says, "Baby, come on, let's sit down and watch a movie." But I'm not gonna let the TV to run my life. The same way I chose not to let drugs and alcohol run my life. The same way I don't let the economy run my life. I run my life. If things are bad out there, that don't matter if things are good in here. So if you don't like what's going on in your life right now, if you're tired of doing the same old shit, do something different. And again, guys, I'm telling you this not to preach to you, but what I did was I started going to Toastmasters. I started changing my boiler. I stopped watching TV. As of this Monday, right, because I had to speak to my wife about this because she plans the week out as far as food, I am not going to eat meat for 10 days, and I'm going to go start working out hardcore again, and that's going to be something else that I'm going to change. Going to Toastmasters every 2 weeks, and for those of you who don't know what Toastmasters is, Google it, right? Going to Toastmasters and becoming part of that group, becoming one of the leaders, becoming one of the Toastmasters of the group, and being really active in that group is also change. See, instead of coming home from work and sitting my ass down on the couch and watching TV and eating some food and feeling sorry for myself that I had to work and now I'm tired from a hard day's work, I'm not playing that shit anymore. I'm not playing that anymore. And you will see it in my results in the future. You're going to be able to watch this video now, and you might even be able to say, well, listen, wow, this is 2023. Let me see what JosephDiego was doing when he was 2018. Or let's see where JosephDiego is now. And I guarantee you, JosephDiego is going to be in a totally different place. Why? Because I got up off my ass and I changed. Jim Rohn says it perfectly. If you want things to change, you need to change. Your actions need to change. Your routines need to change. Your thinking needs to change. And guys, I don't mean to get all rough and tough and try to talk to you like I'm telling you what to do. No, but this is what I did. This is what JosephDiego did. And I am not talking down to you, and please don't, if I'm coming across like that, I don't want you to think that that's what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is I'm getting passionate about something that I'm currently doing now that I know is going to work for me tomorrow. And I'm doing it now. I'm not saying I'm going to do it tomorrow, even though my plans have plans for tomorrows, but those plans are there. Those goals are there. And we're taking action towards those goals every single day. This is what you need to do. And you know what? If you started doing it and you failed, keep on starting doing it, because that's what I did. Guys, and again, I've said it to you before, the possibilities of me not being here next week are very high. The possibilities of me not being here next week are very, very high. But I tell you what, I'm coming back, and I'm going to keep on coming back until I get this right, because I know I can do it. Who's telling me? All of those great leaders out there that I follow and that I listen to are telling me. I believe in them because there are other people who told me, change your thinking, change your world. Read this book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. And I read that book, and I did what they told me to do, and I started to believe, and I started to listen to people like Wayne Dyer, who said that your life is going to be incredible. Your life is going to be amazing. When beautiful things happen in your life, it's not going to surprise you because you know you're on that right path. And that's where I am today. That's where I am today. The universe is conspiring with me to give me everything that I want because I'm in that right vacuum to make it happen. I feel it. I know it. And you have to get yourself there by failing forward. Mess up. It's okay because I've done it also. But don't give up. That's the important part. Mess up, but don't give up. And let me tell you something. Giving up is sitting on the couch watching TV. Giving up is sitting on the watch. I hope this thing doesn't mess up my video. I got this light. It's also a Bluetooth. It just went blue. You heard it right? It went blue, 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 blue. I hope it didn't mess up my thing. But you guys understand what I'm saying? Just messed up my frame of thought. Okay. The bottom line is we have to put in the effort. We have to make it happen. We have to keep on keeping on. There's a song that says that's where I get that from. And that's what we have to do. I will do it. And again, I'm just sharing, like my sponsor, Richie B, said, tell me, kid, I'm just sharing my experience, faith and hope with you. I forget what, but that's the bottom line is. I'm just sharing my experience with you. All right? Really, because the life that I live today is far, far better than the life that I lived way back then. And it was a lot of little steps. And now I'm taking bigger steps. But it was a lot of little steps that I took that kind of got me out of that. And you heard where I came from, guys. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of the stuff that I've been through. I didn't get sober till I was 43 years old. I did not get sober, and my thinking was like really, really corrupt because the alcohol. And if you've got a drinking problem, feel free to contact me. If you have a drug problem, feel free to reach out to Joseph Diego. I would love to speak with you and share my experience, strength, and hope with you. See, that one came out easy. I didn't have to think about it when I'm not thinking about it. And that's the way it should be. Let's do things that become habit. All right? Something that just happens, as my teacher would put it, we don't want to learn how to, when we have to block and punch and move and bob and weave, you don't want to do it where you have to think about it. You want to be able to learn how to do it instinctively and move as needed. And we do that without thinking also. And our actions as a man or a woman of high value and integrity. So I think I've said enough. This is a long video. I got to get upstairs. I have a speech to write, and it's late. I have to get up early for work tomorrow and start living life to the fullest. And you know what? The next time somebody says to you, how are you doing today? Answer them with the exact same thing I say. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Take care. This is Joseph Diego signing out. This clicker. My clicker's not clicking. Let's see, stupid clicker. There it goes.